We have some big news right now. ICE is going broke, and the agency could be in major trouble financially if things do not change fast. According to Axios, ICE is already over $1 billion over its budget this year. And lawmakers are now saying that if the big, beautiful bill isn't passed soon, which will provide an additional $75 billion to ICE, then the agency could run out of money. Chris Murphy, Democratic senator, says ICE is spending money like a drunken sailor. And it's kind of true. The reason why ICE is running out of money is because it is ramping up mass deportation efforts to levels that we really have not seen before, but it's also targeting people that it shouldn't be targeting. And ICE's detention facilities are already way past capacity as we currently speak. Now, if Trump's big bill isn't passed, Axios reports he may declare a national emergency and divert federal funds from the Pentagon or from another department to ICE. But as it stands right now, the ICE department is going broke if things don't change. So spread the word. I'll do a full breakdown on my Substack, linked in bio, so subscribe for free. And as always, follow along, stay up to date on all the news that you need to know.
Hey my people, Gracie here once again. Welcome me here today with my glasses because I think I look funny. But y'all, I hope you guys are doing alright, and I hope God has protected you and preserved you very well. I appreciate all of you that keep supporting and the generous souls that give me super thanks and super chats. I do appreciate you guys so very much. My members, you are highly appreciated, and I give you a big shout out. Yeah, electricity is doing me dirty, guys. That's why I have these glasses on, so that this blinking does not really distort what I am doing. I don't know why power is acting this way today, but man, it is. Anyway, guys, we have another good episode to look at. ICE is going broke. I look like I don't have eyes. Yeah, but ICE is going broke. Some commotion for the people in the back that have been waiting for this day to come. Yes, the day is here. ICE apparently is going broke because it is spending more than it planned to spend. And the reason as to why Trump wants the big beautiful bill is because he wants to draw money out of all the cuts to put it into ICE. Meanwhile, he's literally deporting the people that he never intended to. So that's why when it comes to planning, a lot of people question Trump's, mindset. But anyway, we are going to look at this, and we'll come back and talk about it. It includes the reactions, and again, all credit goes to the speakers in here. I think they have so much more information to pass on here. We'll come back and talk about it. Do me a favor, like the video, share it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please check if you're still subscribed to the channel, because YouTube has been doing something shady. Let's watch this, come back and talk about it.
This just in, it turns out that ICE is going broke. New reports say that the agency could run out of money next month as they attempt to carry out Trump's mass deportation plans. One estimate says that ICE is already $1 billion over budget, with more than 3 months left in the fiscal year, and lawmakers are alarmed that Trump will try to take money away from other agencies in order to prop up ICE. Lawmakers say that the Department of Homeland Security is at risk of violating U.S. law if it continues to spend at its current pace, as they have not been appropriated the funds that they are spending. This is part of why Republicans are so desperate to pass their budget bill, which funnels an extra $75 billion to ICE over the next 5 years. ICE detention facilities are already far past their capacity of about 41,000 beds, and the agency continues to seek more detention space both in the U.S. and abroad. Lawmakers who oversee the Department of Homeland Security's appropriations say that that money could run out as soon as July. Make sure to spread the word, follow our account, and add the Midas Touch podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify for more.
ICE is going broke, y'all. They had already spent $1 billion over budget. All I can hear in my head is brokey. Yeah, I talk a lot to bitch. Brokey. And the reason why they're going broke is because Trump done order them to detain at least 3,000 migrants daily. That's doing too much. DHS already redirected at least $500 million to ICE, and they plan to push for at least $2 billion more to cover operating costs through September. And the Dems already warned that they might be breaking the Anti-Deficiency Act by spending more than what Congress already authorized. If Congress don't do something soon, then ICE is going to have to halt detentions or release detainees. And then it's like, y'all just spent all this money on what? Because y'all just going to end up having to release all the detainees that you already rounded up. These months already going broke, but Trump out here lobbying for a $75 billion 5-year funding bill to fully bankroll his deportation agenda. If there's one thing that Trump knows how to do right, is go bankrupt. Look at them, taking after Trump.
I heard it said that ICE will run out of funds at the end of the month. Is that correct? If so, do you think they will steal funds from elsewhere? Yeah, so this is part of, when Biden was in office and he kept putting plans forward to reform immigration and to boost immigration controls and stuff. There was that whole bipartisan bill that was supposed to provide funding, all that fun stuff. And Trump killed it and said, no, I want to run on immigration. I don't want the Republicans. And Republicans came flat out and said, yes, this is a good bill, but we're not going to do anything to help Joe Biden and the Democrats before the election. Okay, well, guess what? We're still operating under a continuing resolution. So because you didn't provide the funding under Biden, your hands are constrained by the same budget. And because so much stuff has failed in the first 100 days and the first going on 6 months now, the Republicans haven't been able to pass a budget and pass any of this stuff. Your hands are tied. And I suspect that's a big part of the reason why Trump is trying to push everything towards the military now, because the military gets whatever they want. They get basically unlimited funds. They've already gotten like $15 billion to be deployed at the southern border, not including any other supplemental appropriations. There's not a single DOD appropriation that ever fails. So it's real easy. They've already got an $800 billion budget. They already get 10, 15 billions of dollars in appropriations at the time. It's no big deal to use those funds. Nobody's going to question it. Tom Homan, just for this deportation scheme, requested $100 billion. I'm sorry, there was a bipartisan bill a year or two ago that Biden put forward that was only going to cost 11, that everybody said, yes, this will fix the bulk of the problem. We can get caught up and fix the problem for $11 billion. And now you want $100 billion just to kick people out and not even deal with any of the other issues? That doesn't fly. I'm not sure if you caught when he threw that number out there, but pretty much everybody on both sides of the aisle choked on it and said, absolutely not. We are not giving you $100 billion just to round people up. Trump's also asking for another $48 billion to finish the border wall. When did the border wall turn into $48 billion? Because it's not just about the border wall, is it? They want to be able to use that money for other things and not have to say, we want tens of billions of dollars just to round people up illegally. So yeah, it's a problem. They're going to run out of money. This is also why when you look at the troops, when you look at the agents that are on the ground, they're not just ICE, they're not just CBP. You've got DEA, you've got ATF, you've got FBI, you've got marshals, you've got Bureau of Prisons, you've got correction officers that are doing transport. You've got agents from all throughout DHS that are assisting in this because there's not enough ICE agents and ICE doesn't have enough funding to ramp up like that. So they're pulling law enforcement from all throughout the federal system just to focus on this. Well, what other things are falling through the cracks? Who's paying for that? Is that coming out of FBI's budget? It is. Is that coming out of DEA's budget? It is. Is it coming out of the Marshals budget and Bureau of Prisons budget? You're damn right it is. So now all of these other agencies are footing the bill for this deportation program.
ICE is broke. ICE is broke, and they are set to be $1 billion over budget. Do you remember when I posted this?
Trump wants to deploy the military because ICE is running out of money. I don't really see people talking about this. Like, in a recent Congress hearing, it was said that ICE is spending so much money doing all of these deportations that they're scheduled to run out of money in July for the whole year. So what do you think is going to happen?
So ICE is over budget. They are also shopping contractors for a $45 billion detention center for immigrants. Where will they get that money? I'm glad you asked, because it's going to come from you, the taxpayer. It's going to come either on higher taxes. It's going to come from other programs. I mean, it's not going to magically appear from the sky. And before anybody says Obama deported people and Biden deported people, they did it better. Period. End of story. We didn't hear about all of the violation of the laws, and Homeland Security is broke. They have 3 months left and they are $1 billion over budget. Racism and stupidity is going to cost you a lot of money.
So Donald Trump just instructed ICE to focus on deporting immigrants from Democratic-run cities, and he singled out New York and Los Angeles as examples. So in the post, he said we must expand efforts to detain and deport illegal aliens in America's largest cities, such as LA, Chicago, and New York, where millions upon millions of illegal aliens reside. Obviously, this also comes at a time that a lot of these cities have been having these major protests in opposition to his immigration operation. The funny thing to me, though, is that Donald is so focused on being petty that this type of stuff he's proposing doesn't even make sense. So you're going to focus on deporting people in Democratic-run cities, and all these people in red states who voted for you to get rid of immigrants where they live, you're just going to leave them there? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then he also made this post on Truth Social, basically admitting that his immigration policy is messing up things for his friends in the hotel and farming industry. Who would have thought? And he said that longtime workers are being taken away with them, with these jobs being almost impossible to replace. Again, who would have freaking thought? So he said that changes are coming. Basically, translation, his billionaire friends are getting pissed off and they don't know what they're doing. And on top of that, y'all, there is reporting that ICE is going broke. Donald Trump has them deporting way more people than they have the budget for. There are a whole 3 months more remaining in the fiscal year, and they are already over budget by $1 billion. So who even knows if they're going to have the money to carry out this stuff? But yeah, this is just another reminder that Trump voters got played, and we will see how this plays out for his immigration agenda, because obviously the pushback is starting to get to him. So he's like, let's just focus on Democratic-run cities, but those industries are obviously going to be impacted in those Democratic-run cities as well, and money is running out. So they're really going to need to figure out what they're going to do.
Trump just called for more intensive ICE raids on his Truth Social network, although I'm not quite sure how he or ICE will be able to accomplish this, as it's being reported that ICE will likely run out of money in the next 2 or 3 months, and it's already $1 billion over budget just for this year. Now, in this Truth Social post, Trump called on ICE to do everything in its power to deliver the largest mass deportation program in history. With that said, when you compare Trump's deportation numbers to previous administrations, both Democrat and Republican, other administrations have deported significantly larger portions of immigrants, and they have done this by and still affording these people due process, whereas Trump seemingly wants to eliminate due process for non-U.S. citizens. Although it is a constitutional right, and the Constitution does not discriminate between non-citizens and citizens, that people inside the United States have a right to due process. So we will see how and if this is even possible, as ICE is set to run out of money here in the next 2 or 3 months. But who knows, maybe more money will be allocated to this mass deportation program. We'll have to see what Congress has to say about that, and I'm sure we'll hear more from Trump through Truth Social as well as other statements. If you like personal finance, world economics, and investing, and sometimes politics and breaking news, then you're in the right place. So I hope to see you in the
Hey, Midas Touch, hire your boy, because I definitely said ICE was going broke a week ago. This is why I believe the Taco made a point to say that they were going to ramp up operations in 3 cities. I believe that they can't afford to run ICE anywhere else but those cities. I've always believed that that is why he has tried to find a way to get the military involved, and all of the other reporting of them pulling agents from federal agencies all over Washington. They're running out of money. They are going broke. And now bigger news outlets are starting to tell everybody. That means this is something people have known about for a while. And if I were the Taco Man and I saw that this situation was deteriorating the way that it was, but I still needed to keep up appearances, what would I do? Especially after a weekend where I feel like I was heavily embarrassed by the left, Democrats, all people that I just can't stand. I'm going to tell everybody we're going to concentrate on these blue sanctuaries. We're going to concentrate on these areas where they are harboring criminals, even though that point has already been disproven many times over. We are in the grasping at straws portion of this regime. And it's crazy because we're not even 6 months in. Now you all see why they need that big, beautiful bill, and why people need to keep being very loud, very vocal, and keep the pressure on your lawmakers. Because the dam is breaking. The secrets are starting to come out, secrets that they don't want people to know. ICE going broke is probably near the top of that list.
Just then, it turns out that ICE is going broke. New reports say that the agency could run out of money next month.
Beware these grease barons. Yes, I love you, and nothing you can do about it. I just also heard about and I got the video on my page, where they finna deputize bounty hunters and give them $1,000 in the immigrant. So yeah, that you know, we're broke. Well, we had to resort to this measure. Be well. Just saying, be well.
This is breaking news, and I'm not even making this up. Reports are ICE is broke. Yes, ICE is out of money. In fact, they may be in the hole already. With months and months to go, they have no money. And once again, this shows you the inefficiency and the rapid spending of Republicans with no accountability whatsoever. When is it going to stop? When is it going to be someone held accountable? But yeah, ICE is out of money. Now what? Where's the money going to come from? Somebody tell me where the money's going to come from to keep ICE going, because they're broke. Yeah, once again, this is what happens when you put people in charge that have no idea what they're doing. The job that they're doing is poor to begin with. Already, their numbers have been way, way below where they should be. So here you have all this money being spent and no results. Imagine that. Sounds Republican, doesn't it?
Just then, it turns out that ICE is going broke. New reports say that the agency could run out of money next month.
No, I love you, Midas. I do. But I said this like for over a month. Midas will be broke by July. So to the ICE agents that are out there, no payee at the end of July. No payee for UE. Of course they're going broke. There was a congressional hearing, and it was said at the congressional hearing when one of the senators, I think it was Senator Murphy, asked, Christine, love dog lover, you're spending egregiously, and you're hitting up against not having any money in Homeland Security because for all of what they did is they appropriate all the money and did not, because it's literally in a bill, it's specific as to what is, where that money goes. So she took a call of it, and what she did, and I know what she did, she paid off contractors, not the ICE people, contractors, and they were like, great, we'll hire your bounty hunters, we'll pay them by the head, and the money is running out. So I don't know whether she's going to take it out of her plastic surgery account. There's no more money. It runs out at the end of July. And this is how it works in the real world in this country. So just in case anybody's asking, payee, we know worky. That goes for National Guard. I think with Marines can't. They have to work. Unfortunately, they get sworn in and got to work. But the rest of them don't have to work. So of course they're not going to work. Do you really think they're going to work? listen, again, to all the ICE agents that are out there, I know you're just looking for a job and a gig. And there's a lot of jobs, by the way, in security. They pay better money. They're always looking for people like, security. I'm not talking about your average security job either, because you guys could do commercial security. And you can make up to like 50 to 100,000, depending on what you do. You're not making money here. I know this for a fact. But the money's running out at the end of July. No payee checky for you, E. If it was me, unless you're living in your mother's and father's basement with no life, I'd suggest you just start looking for another gig. Because in reality, you're not going to get paid. And she doesn't care. And she's not going to leave another $3,000 in her bag under her seat at a restaurant or a park bench, just in case you're wondering. I'm talking about Christy, no. That's all. Hey, Christy, did you ever find that 3,000? Your whole family must have been devastated.
You know what? Looking back at the big, beautiful bill and how these people have literally been trying so hard to make sure that it goes through, now everything is really making a lot of sense. Whatever he has against immigrants is really something that is so huge, because it looks like apparently that's the only focus that he has right now. Like the focus is literally on only immigrants, right? And because of the hate he has to immigrants, literally, he is willing to sacrifice healthcare of Americans, right? Every service and every program that is meant to benefit Americans, he's willing to sacrifice that. When I say that, this really now makes a lot of sense, because all the cuts that are from the Medicaid, Medicare, federal workers, the veterans, every beautiful thing, Job Corp, right? All of these cuts, right? All coming at the cost of stripping American people of these services in order for him to affirm and confirm his hate for immigrants. And I said that I feel like this could have been successful. I think he would have fitted in the budget. But since now he's literally decided to go after every immigrant, including those that have a due process, right? Going through the process to become citizens, right? He's going for them. So that should be such big hit. And I am wondering, why is he trying to rush to get rid of these people? Where's the rush, and why is he rushing, right? And to make matters worse, because I feel like this thing has already been giving indicators. He's been focusing on Democrat states, because those are the ones, apparently, according to him, those are the ones that have more immigrants that did not vote for him, because he's targeting people that didn't vote for him. Unfortunately, this includes actually communities that have even the Latinos and other groups of people that voted for him, and he's not very considerate of them either. Like, he literally just wants to get rid of them. So this makes a lot of sense. It's like, okay, if I am to hate, at least let my hate be directed towards the states that have people that don't like me. If he's not a dictator, I don't even know what he is. I know a lot of people would be like, oh, if he's a dictator, why would even people be opening their mouth and speaking about him? Like, that does not mean that he's not a dictator. A lot of people are being suppressed. And do you know how many people are literally facing consequences after talking about him and not arguing with him? The reason as to why he's targeting all these communities is because they are actually trying to paint a bad picture about him. He cares so much about his reputation that he forgets about his actions. How ridiculous that has to be. Like, seriously. He cares about his reputation, but then he doesn't care about his actions, which is so sad, because you would think that as smart as he should be, right, he would care about his actions that are actually going to force other people to see him in a very bad and negative light, but he really doesn't care. And then all along, when everything happens, he's going to be like, oh, people just hate me. But you hate people. And while we're still on this, I just ask myself, how much money did he put in the pockets of whatever department to bring the South African refugees, when he at the same time is busy closing doors on people that need to be in the US so bad, and even those that really need to be coming in, right? Meanwhile, he's accepting the white Afrikaners. And the crazy thing is how the process was so quick for them, compared to all the other refugees that ended up in the United States. So it really does not make a lot of sense. I'm thinking he spent quite a lot of money on getting the Afrikaners stationed and ready just to come in. And meanwhile, the department you created to get rid of these other people, it doesn't even have enough money. And I hope he did not go into other departments to get money out of there to put into the Afrikaner refugees to get them to the US. And you don't just hate immigrants, you hate the Americans. Because how do you deprive other services and programs that are meant to serve your people, right? Just to make sure you defund these people. Oh, let's say, because a lot of people used to say he's a very good business person, but he even his own corporations and businesses have run bankrupt probably because of his poor planning. Yeah, he might be a very good negotiator, but let me tell you, business is more than negotiation. Business takes a lot of things into consideration if you are to be successful. And according to him, he really does not calculate and navigate through his steps when he's, making all these plans. That's one of the most unfortunate thing, because I feel like the money that was allocated to ICE should have been enough, but because he stretches and he wants to do these things like in the quickest time possible. Meanwhile, there are people that are literally struggling in the United States of America. Homelessness is increasing, joblessness is also increasing, right? Taxes are going so high, and meanwhile, the cost of living as well is going high. How do you expect your people to even survive, right? But at the same time, the budget that is supposed to be funding your people. So I think this really opens a lot of people's eyes to see that he probably is really thinking about, this man is trying to get money into his pockets instead of really into the pockets of America. Because a lot of these people pay taxes. That's one of the things for me. They pay taxes. They're not receiving anything for free. I do understand that some of them are given services and catered for and, quite a few things. But a lot of them still pay their way out, right? And the whole immigration process is very expensive for you even to become an American citizen, right? So he's literally jeopardizing the situation of tourism. America has lost billions in that. America has lost billions in trade. And there's nothing that is putting money back. And ICE is counting on the big, beautiful bill. So I think it shows you that his interest is really not America, but it is all about his ego. At least that's how I feel. I feel like it's all about his ego, that he will do anything to make sure that anything that elevates his ego and that helps him to undo everything that any prior president did, right? He's gonna do whatever it takes to make sure that he has it. And I think it also makes a lot of sense that he's using these other agencies, like the security agencies, like the National Guards, the military, the Marines, and all of that, because all those sectors, they are funded. They are funded. He's using these agencies because they are highly funded. So he's literally using the funds of these agencies that are supposed to be helping them to perform for the people, right? And wow. This man, as long as he finds his way, he'll put a foot in your throat just to make sure he makes you lose all you have. Just to make sure for him he's fed, for him he's taken care of, and his agendas are taken care of. The difference between him and the prior presidents is because they used to work within the budget, right? They used to work within the budget. For him, absolutely not. The budget does not limit him. If the budget he was working with, gets literally done, he has to find a way of going through other people's budgets. My goodness, if that's a good planner, I don't know. People are just so wrong in believing that he's really a good business person and he's a very good planner, because from what is happening right now, it really is not reflecting anything good on his reputation as a good businessman and a good planner and a good leader, because even good leaders normally put, things like they plan prior and they normally don't literally spend beyond your means, and that's exactly what he's doing. But anyway, guys, I think this is already a lot. I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comment section about ICE going broke. And yeah, I'm sure this will make a lot of immigrants happy, because if he's not able, because I don't know if there's any possibility of him not being able to use other agencies to like work or what, like fulfill his plans. I don't know if there's a way of that, but if there is, then that is going to be very helpful for the people that are so fearful of living in this country, even if they are waiting for their due process to actually, you know, process and get their documents. But don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Check and see if you are still subscribed to the channel, because YouTube is doing us a number, and I don't know why they are doing this, but at the same time I have an idea. Check and see if you are still subscribed. It's not me only that is going through it. A lot of creators are going through this thing. Yes, I think from me for today, that's it. I love all of you. I'll see you in another amazing video. Until then, my name is Cressy, and bye.